Yo, what's happening everybody? King GBL here and welcome back to a brand new Go Bat Like video. Today I'm going to be showcasing a really strong team in the Great League with Lanturn in the lead, Sableye and Trevenant, and in this first match the opponent swaps straight out of Frostlass into Toxapex, so I'm immediately reading that they're triple weak to Lanturn, so I think I might even double shield this against the Toxapex. Whenever the opponent does that, they often don't go into their hard swap, they'll go into like a soft counter, and of course a Toxapex is not any sort of counter. We're basically farming up to just before the Sludge Bomb here and throwing off the Surf. The opponent shields it, we go straight for the back-to-back Surf, and we'll see if the opponent wants to double shield this. This is a pretty big tell that they're triple weak to Lanturn. Shout out to Pogo King. I've wanted to try double ghost backline for quite some time. I just haven't really got around to it. I seen a video of his where he was coaching somebody using a double ghost backline, and I seen it being run with Lanturn this morning, which makes perfect sense. Lanturn of course deals with Noctowl, which is your biggest sort of weakness with the double ghost backline. So this team just works really well, and in general Lanturn of course is just kind of broken in the Great League. The Surfs really add up against maybe some of its harder counters like Swampert and Stunfisk, and in the second game here we are going to get a bit of a harder counter with Chesnaught, which is quite a difficult Pokemon to deal with this team. In general today I was having a pretty rough start. I went 1-7, I was seeing a ton of like fast move teams, Bastiodon, Victory Bell leads. I was trying different things like Togedemaru, and I kept getting pretty much rough countered, like Obstagoon leads into Togedemaru, which of course you sort of can deal with a little bit. I was using Grass Double Steel, and the first game I tried that I got a Talonflame lead, which is pretty hilarious. Of course you can take it out with Stunfisk and everything, but it's quite hilarious though. Yeah, I was just having a very rough start to the day. I switched over to this team right here. I was currently 1-4 and then 0 for 2 in the second set. I got a free O to get a free 2 in that set. I went 5-0 and 4-1, so I had a really good time with this team, and I highly recommend checking it out. This is my first ever time trying this team, so if I do make some mistakes I'll point them out. Of course whenever I do first try teams, I'm just kind of getting used to how the team plays a little bit, and you will see some mistakes here and there, so just keep that in mind with these videos. I try out different teams and different Pokemon basically every single day. Obviously for YouTube content I don't really get the chance to master a team over a longer period of time. So if you do see me sort of misplaying a little bit, definitely like get the comments in, because I do like to hear them of course. You know, for example in the Umbreon video, you know, there's a right way and wrong way to do it. I'm always really open to feedback, because I think if you're not open to feedback, you're not open to learning, which I definitely am open to learning here of course. I've been playing GBL for a couple of seasons here, and anything that I can do to get better is much appreciated. Like in the Umbreon video, some people commented saying, you know, go for foul play, it's more energy efficient, which is something that I knew from a long time ago but just completely forgot, because it's something that I haven't used in a while. I do want to let you guys know that I do value feedback, but sometimes you do get people who are just like a little bit over the top with it, like it's like, oh, you're absolute trash. You know, here's the way I like to think about things. Do you ever see Tiger Woods going down to the local golf course and calling all of the local golf players trash? Do you ever see Lionel Messi going into the park and saying, "Yous are so bad at football"? The best players don't do that, so I don't really take those comments too seriously, because oftentimes it doesn't really mean a whole lot. But anyway guys, welcome on into the video. Hope you're all having a fantastic day here today, and once again thank you very much for the support on these videos. If you have been enjoying the videos and you have not yet subscribed, quickly subscribe now, hit that like button, and let's hop into these battles. I really like that analogy, by the way. I like the Lionel Messi Tiger Woods analogy. It is an original analogy, but here we go with Registeel. So I decided just to go straight in. You can do this maybe one of two ways. You guys can let me know here. You could maybe try to land a Thunderbolt before they get off their Zap Cannon. I decided just to go straight into Sableye. I can take this in the 2 shield I believe, and in comes Noctowl. So at this point we're going to farm up to the one before the Power Gem. I should have just farmed straight up to it. If the opponent was counting correctly, they'll know this is just a foul play. The opponent's going to fire off probably a Shadow Ball here, and we've got like a nice little green Noctowl as well. Should the opponent, I guess they could go Shadow Ball farm down. We did go for the Power Gem here, which would actually take out the Noctowl from this range. The opponent lets it go, and that's kind of what I like about using Power Gem. I don't have a Purified Sableye. Of course we come into Lanturn here. The opponent fires off a move. I decide to no shield the first one here. It is the Thunderbolt. And I predict that they're going to go for the move, and I catch it. I knew they stored a ton of energy in Registeel. We eat that Zap Cannon on Lanturn, we do get the attack full, but we're probably just going to go for a couple of Surfs here, which will get it low. And at that point we can farm it down, and basically come out with energy on the Trevenant. So there's not really a whole lot the opponent can do here. One way or another they're going to get farmed down or whatever. We just let the Lanturn go here. We actually survived that somehow. Lanturn's just so bulky. We can probably just go for a full farm down here. I thought the opponent was just about to reach a move right there, because I know that they overfarmed like crazy, so I just wanted to make sure of it. You know, with loaded energy and 2 shields, we should still be fine here. My Trevenants get pretty poor IVs, but I should have no problem here. 1 Seed Bomb will take out. I think we just about don't get the CMP there. There is sometimes a way you can like double CMP, Yeah, so the opponent gets the Spark right there. That's absolutely fine. Only 4 off a Seed Bomb here, which we'll take out at this range. And it's going to be GG. I don't know, this team just works so well. Like, of course, Noctowls are what you have to look out for. Lucky enough, I started seeing a lot of Noctowls in the lead. And you know, with Sableye, like, as you seen earlier, if the opponent doesn't shield once, you know, you can get off, you know, sometimes a Power Gem. You'll normally get a head on, like, 1 or 2 Shadow Claws. You can get off a Power Gem and a FL play, which will take out a Noctowl. We get a Snorlax here. I've been getting a ton of Snorlax from the rewards, which is quite nice, but I was really happy with this so far, because like I said, I was having a super rough start to the day, and to go straight for AO with this team, super happy. And I think I definitely played quite well. There was one of those first matches where I threw the Surf into the Swampert when I had a Trevenant in the back. I think that was a slight misplay, but my thinking there was to just come in and farm down with Trevenant. The opponent started over farming towards the Earthquake, and at that point, that's when I just CMP'd with the Seed Bomb. You will see like a few less optimal plays here, but I think as time went on, I got a little bit better with this team. In comes Shadow Dragonair. This Pokemon is so rough to deal with. In usual scenarios, this thing just wins. So what I decided to do here is throw up a shield, and at least try to get off some damage on this thing. You know, if I can force them to dump all of their energy in Sableye, they will like slightly outpace the moves here, but at the very least I can get them to dump all of their energy and leave them in a farm down range. So this is looking a little bit tougher here. They went Lanturn lead Dragonair. They could have like a Trevenant in the back, so I decided to come in with my own Trevenant here and try to get a farm down. This should just be an Aqua Tail or Body Slam. Body Slam. So at least the opponent's throwing the correct move here. So let's see what the opponent wants to do. Are they going to come in? So yeah, they come in with Noctowl, I come in with Lanturn. Now the thing here is they've got a Water Gun Lanturn, so I'm thinking, right, this is still doable. We're going to reach these moves substantially quicker, and we're just going to fire off the Thunderbolt straight away. The opponent's farming up to the Thunderbolt, and what I decided to do here is shield the first one. I felt like they were less likely to bait on the first one, so I shielded that one. I feel like if I'm getting low health, I might go for the bait. So I wanted to just, you know, try and shield the Thunderbolt. I know if I shield the Thunderbolt, I'm absolutely fine here. And we'll actually get the full farm down as well. The opponent does have 2 shields here, but we should be able to reach 2 Thunderbolts. I know that the opponent pretty much has to shield here, so I decided to go for the Surf. And I make a slight misplay right here. I tried to go for a catch. The opponent was at the Shadow Ball, so this was completely unnecessary. Now they're going to be able to farm up here and, you know, potentially get off 2 moves. So definitely very bad misplay by me here. The opponent here, they're just going to farm down the Trevenant completely, and they're going to be super close to 2 moves. They do get to the first move here, which will be the Shadow Ball most likely. I wonder what 2 Sky Attacks have took out at that range. That was a really bad misplay, but lucky enough I was able to get to the move in time. So like 1 Shadow Ball would not take out Lanturn, so there was just absolutely no need for that whatsoever. So that's just something to keep in mind. Sometimes there's just no need for it, and you can just give your opponents win conditions by going for catches. In comes a Medicham lead, so I want to get out into one of my backline. Of course I have 2 better answers, and the opponent goes into a Lanturn of their own here. Now I think I might try to take Switch on this. We're getting the laggy bubbles. I was asking you guys in the comments, nobody really is saying they're getting those. I heard another content creator saying they were getting it, you know, a while ago. So I definitely think it's just a me problem here. The opponent goes for a Surf, they're going to go for another one here. Am I going to shield this up? I'm not sure if this is a correct shield. I do want to try and get alignment if possible. Just to kind of make sure, like, in case they have like a Noctowl in the back or whatever. That's kind of my thinking here. In comes an Umbreon, so this is going to be a little bit awkward. We're going to go for the Power Gem right here, which will do like a nice little bit of chip on this thing, and the opponent does let that go, so that's a nice little bit of chip we got through there. At this point we can come in with Lanturn and basically start firing off moves on this thing, and of course, you know, with Medicham, 1 Ice Punch will not take out Trevenant, so all we really have to do here is, you know, maybe get a shield off the opponent. That would be nice as well. And yeah, the opponent's actually throwing after bad timing here. To maximize your moves here, the opponent probably could have got off another move if they just threw after 1 each time. They're basically letting me get a ton of sparks through for free. So a little bit of a misplay. The opponent does shield it there as well. And I'm not sure, was this good timing again? Like, did they throw straight away again? The opponent's definitely letting me get to more moves. And at this point we come in with Trevenant. We can just basically farm up to the Shadow Ball. 1 Ice Punch does not take out. But if they do get to 2 Ice Punches, they go for a Psychic. So they must be running Power Punch, which is quite an interesting one there. There'd be no reason not to go for that. And we can just about get the... Okay, we don't get the farm down, but that's absolutely fine. The opponent will reach another move here, and it will be, yeah, the Power Punch. At this point we even have a Seed Bomb loaded for the Umbreon. We don't throw after one here because I'm just afraid it'll, you know, take me out before I get it off, so I'm just throwing it, get the damage off on the opponent. And we're just going to farm up here. This is looking absolutely fine. We can live any one move from this thing. Umbreon's so bulky that, of course, it doesn't have that much attack. It will start getting a little bit close, but we're going to outpace to the next move here. And again, this just kind of goes to show, if the opponent had been throwing in good timing, they would have won this match. Isn't that crazy? So that just goes to show the importance of it. Good games to the opponent nonetheless. And, you know, we're on like a nice little winning streak here. We're on a 5-0 winning streak here currently. So we get a really positive lead here. Of course, this is exactly where we want to see Noctowl. The opponent's staying in here for a minute. So I'm thinking, are they going to try and catch or something? Yeah, they do go for the catch. We come straight into Trevenant here. I maintain the energy on the Lanturn this time, instead of throwing it off against whatever came in. And the energy is a lot more valuable, of course, on the other side. I'm happy that the opponent got to the Stone Age here, because it means Noctowl doesn't get a ton of farm. And this is absolutely perfect. I could have even let them through a few more mud shots to be completely optimal here, but the opponent's going to farm down and basically come out with like a Sky Attack or so, which is absolutely fine. We can eat 2 Shadow Balls on Lanturn here. We're going to come in and the opponent's going to fire off a move. We don't have to shield this here yet, which is absolutely fine. We'll see what the opponent wants to do. 1 Shadow Ball, in comes a Swampert. I threw straight away thinking that the opponent might go for a catch after like 1 or 2 moves. They do catch it on Swampert, and what I decide to do here is soften this up with another Surf, knowing that I will be able to get to another Thunderbolt. The opponent to shield it, and I Sableye with a 2 shield to 1 shield advantage can win this. This match is a Swampert win in even shields, but if you get a shield down, that's absolutely perfect. That chip is very valuable, and of course these Shadow Claws and Foul Plays will add up. The opponent is basically forced to shield everything. I'm happy enough just to invest both shields here on Sableye, and even if we do come out with a move, that would be great. I'm probably just going to go, yeah, so the opponent does get to the move in time. I would have went straight for the Foul Play if I had have got to it in time. In comes Noctowl, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't expect the timer to be up so quickly. I'm like, oh no, have they actually somehow won this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the opponent gets to another Sky Attack. This is kind of crazy that they went for Sky Attack here. If they had went for Shadow Ball, I think they would have won it. Gives me a chance to farm up to the back-to-back Surfs. And at this point, 1 Surf will take out the Noctowl. And we get the Swampert super low. And yeah, they don't have a move. So that was so lucky. The opponent definitely could have done a little bit better there. So they played really well going for the Snipe. That completely denied all my Sableye's energy. I was trying to get a little bit greedy with the overfarm, and I really did not realize the timer was coming up. So it was well played by the opponent, but they should have just committed to the Shadow Ball. So what I decided here to do with Reggie is go for Thunderbolt. This is like a pretty neutral match overall, because of course these lock-ons do nothing. I'm happy enough just to eat the energy here on Lanturn, leave it with 50% health, keep it in the back for something, and in comes a Ninetales. Now, I make a mistake here. I farmed up to the Power Gem and go for the Foul Play, thinking I might get to the back-to-back, but there's absolutely no chance, and the opponent lets that go. That is a wild no-shield. That Power Gem would have basically one-shot it. I couldn't believe they no-shielded that. So interesting there for sure. We farm up here with the Lanturn, and you know, Surf's going to take out at this range anyway, so it doesn't matter what I throw. I was in disbelief there that the opponent let that go. You know, if they were counting, they would have knew we were at the Power Gem, but maybe they're not used to playing Power Gem Sableye. In comes Registeel again, and we actually do just about get to the move. So that's kind of what I was hoping for, the opponent to come back in with Reggie and try to farm down with Lockdown. We swap straight into the Trevenant here. We're going to shield up the Zap Cannon, and I'm like, please no debuff, please no debuff, please no debuff, please. In comes the Swampert, so I'm like, right, okay. They've got a shield ahead here, but we're ahead in energy. So they're going to farm up probably to the Earthquake, and most likely fire off the Hydro Cannon, which is the safer play. And we're going to go for the back-to-back Seed Bombs, and we'll see what the opponent wants to do here. So the opponent, they're going to fire off a move here, they have to fire it off soon. And of course, we were just basically forced to shield, with no way not to shield here. The opponent here, they will go for an Earthquake, and we'll see if this can take out my Trevenant. It's going to be super, super close. It's actually not that close, is it? It wasn't that close at all. I thought it would be closer, but GG's to the opponent there. If that had been a Shadow Swampert, that would have probably taken out, and we will be able to farm down the Reggie. So good games to the opponent there. Yeah, it was definitely getting a little bit close there, but definitely good games overall. I think with this team, you know, if you do get that Registeel lead, I mean, you can stay in or you can swap straight out. I do like to get the chip off on it, which puts it into like a Shadow Ball range or whatever, and I can easily eat any move from it. We get a Stunfisk lead here, which is again like pretty neutral. They can go for Earthquakes, we can go for Surfs. I always expect the catch, and we farm up to a Thunderbolt and dip out into Trevenant. We can eat 2 Thunderbolts off this thing, so this is absolutely fine. And I think I might even shield one of these here. It might be this one or maybe another one. We'll see what happens here. The opponent fires off a Thunderbolt. That doesn't get us even into the red there. And I fire off the Seed Bomb in time here. We'll see if the opponent wants to do. I was trying to maximize energy as much as possible there. And in comes Noctowl. So yeah, this is going to be pretty straightforward. Actually, fun fact, I should probably go for Shadow Ball here. I know it seems funny throwing Shadow Ball into the Noctowl, but it does the most amount of damage. But in either case here, we're going to come in and we're just going to go straight for this Thunderbolt. We're pretty much getting close to 100 energy already. And this actually, I'm not sure if that would even take them out. And the opponent comes back into the Stunfisk. There are maybe 1 or 2 off the Earthquake here at this point. And at this point, we just go straight into Sableye. We've got a 2-to-1 shield advantage, and we can definitely take this match. We're going to shield up the first one here. It is a Rock Slide, as anticipated. You just always expect the Rock Slide bait. But I've no reason to call it there, because I've got 2 shields, I've got 1, I can get off multiple moves. And they actually let that one go. I think the opponent's win condition there was Stunfisk. And at this point, I'm happy enough to let the Earthquake go, because I've got the Lanturn in the back, keep a shield for it. You know, no funny business is going to happen. The opponent is basically forced to shield here, so that we don't get them into surf range, and yeah, this is going to be straightforward no matter what here. At this point, I don't even think I need to bait here, I can just let this first one go. It is the Shadow Ball. We reach the Thunderbolt in the exact same time, and yeah, we just go straight for the Thunderbolt. There's absolutely no need for the bait here at this point. The opponent, they do shield it up, and yeah, they're going to go for another move here. Of course, we just basically have to shield anything here at this stage. And, you know, it's getting to the point where they're, you know, probably even in surf range, but I decided not to bother with it. We'll just go straight for the Thunderbolt, and that's going to be a good game. So, as you can see, like, if you can make sure to get out of, you know, bad matchups, I know that one was a Noctowl lead, but in general, like, there's a 5-0 set as well, so we're currently 8-0 with this team, which I was super happy with. But in general, like, that's what your Lanturns are for. If you don't get a Noctowl lead, you might want to consider swapping out. I think the opponent might consider swapping out here. Let's see what they swap into. They swap into Lanturn, we swap into Trevenant, and you know, it's almost the top left at this point already. We're going to go for a Seed Bomb here, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. They let it go, and I think what I decide to do here is go for a mad farm down on this thing here, just to leave my Trevenant low so it doesn't get like farmed down by Charizard or whatever, and we can threaten him with Shadow Balls. So the opponent goes for another move here. Now I think I make, yeah, so this is the mistake here, folks. I shielded that. I should have just got rid of the Lanturn. A little bit greedy, but we do have 2 Shadow Balls, which is perfect. That's what I was thinking, like, invest a shield, come out with 2 Shadow Balls, it's great. I overfarm over 100 energy, just making sure I can see what's coming in here. That absolutely wrecks the Charizard. They're almost going to wreck us here. And we're just going to basically fire off the Seed Bomb, take it out. And this looks like a straightforward win, but in comes Chesnaught. They've got 2 shields, we've got 1, and these foul plays are resisted. So this is not over yet, folks. One Frenzy Plant from this thing would do a ton of damage, and of course it's super effective against Lanturn. So like, this is not straightforward at all anymore. In comes a Frenzy Plant. We're gonna go for a Foul Play right here. I maybe like could have aggro swapped instead of shielding the Trevenant. You know, try to get off 1 Shadow Ball on the Charizard, and then come in and, you know, get energy with Lanturn. I think that was the correct play. I think shielding Trevenant against Lanturn in any circumstance is pretty much a bad play, unless it's, you know, the last Pokemon or something. I think that's where I messed this match up here, folks. We go for Thunderbolt in this thing. Again, would 2 Surfs be better here? Yeah, we swap into Trevenant, try to catch the move. Maybe 2 Surfs would have been better. Can we survive a Frenzy? Yeah, so we just about don't survive. Yeah, so that's super rough. I think, you know, I definitely misplayed that, and there comes the end of the streak. So I was a little bit annoyed there. I was like, how do I manage to lose that match? Like, I get a Charizard lead and a Lanturn swap, and I somehow managed to lose. I think it's the fact that I got greedy with energy. So, you know, that's just one to learn right there. We do get a negative lead here, and we're going to come into Sableye. The opponent can win this in the 1 shield if they get through a bait, which is kind of rough. The opponent only farms up to 6, so I know this is going to be a Seed Bomb, so let that one go. In comes Toxicroak, and they're probably going to go for the full farm down here. We're up to back-to-back foul plays already, and these are going to start adding up. The opponent probably could go for the farm down here, but let's see what this next one does here. The opponent here, they're getting into, yeah, they're almost into foul play range, so they do decide to throw here. I wonder, could they have got the farm down? They definitely could have overfarmed a little bit, because they're basically just going to come in here and get sparked down. And at that point, of course, Trevenant will come back, but we're going to have loaded energy against Trevenant, and that's why Lanturn is just so broken. Do I actually, no, I just do commit to the full farm down, knowing that it's a losing match against Trevenant. We'll take the Sludge Wave, and we'll just come out with a ton of energy. We're up to almost back-to-back Thunderbolts. 2 Thunderbolts in this thing will almost take it out. So in comes the first one, and actually we just go for the Surf here because we already had them a little bit weaker with Sableye. So this would actually just take out the Trevenant almost. We snipe it, deny all of their energy, they come in with Lanturn, and that's a top left. So good games. I think, again, you know, the opponent was just in a rough spot there. They definitely could have at least threatened with the Shadow Ball and maybe not sit in with Sableye for so long. In comes a good lead, and in comes a good swap. What I decide to do here is come into Sableye, because I'm predicting that they might have the Noctowl, Lanturn, Medicham team. So I decided to come into Sableye here, knowing that I can win this, and we'll have the, again, laggy bubbles. It's just Sableye. Do you guys notice that they just hate Sableye in here? We can live a nice punch at this range. I'm happy enough here. We're going to get pretty low, and it's going to leave the opponent with less farm as well. We just about get the farm down, and I should be just throwing the power gem right here. I just blind threw it here because I knew that one quick attack would take me out. So I just threw it, just, you know. In comes Lanturn, in comes Trevenant, and yep, good games. As soon as I seen the Medicham, I was like, yeah, this is Lanturn in the back, isn't it? So that's pretty much, you know, they need something to protect their Medicham. So that was kind of my thinking right there. So we're, again, we're just doing very, very well here in this next set. You know, we've had the 3-0, we've had the 5-0, we've had our loss here, which definitely could have been prevented on my side. So, you know, again, like, you know, you live and you learn, that's just how it goes. You don't always learn from winning, you learn from losing most of the time. So in comes a Stunfisk. I'm anticipating the catch, so we're going to farm up to at least 6 and fire off the surf here, see what the opponent wants to do. So Stunfisk, like, it can be handled by both of my backline. The opponent has shield that, so it's making me think that, okay, maybe I should shield this, because they might be weak to Lanturn if they're shielding it. At that point, I decide to swap out, and we'll see what the opponent wants to do here. They do go for the swap, and is that a bubble that went through? So that's probably Azumarill. So this, you know, a little bit awkward for Sableye, of course. The Shadow Claws add up like crazy, and I've got a very attack-weighted Sableye. I just threw off another foul play straight away here, knowing that they would reach the move. They shield it. I could not get over that. That was not a good shield there by the opponent. They definitely could have lived that easily. What I decide to do here is just throw the foul play, just to leave this in a nice little farm down range for Lanturn. If it's on like too high health, you know, I basically won't be able to get a nice farm down. So what I decide to do here is come in with Lanturn. The opponent's going to fire off a move straight away here. The opponent did throw an Ice Beam, so I was a little bit surprised to see the player off come through. We're going to try and go for the farm down. The opponent is just about to reach another player off, so we do throw off the surf here, just to make sure they don't get it. That last bubble that went through would have been the player off again, and we just hard swap in here. Now, this could be an Earthquake, it is a Rock Slide. I just wanted to swap straight out anyway, and in comes Skarmory. So this is kind of rough for Trevenant, but at the same time, these moves are going to add up so quickly. And what I'm thinking here is this is actually fine. We're going to basically get to taken out by this thing. At this point, I was considering, okay, I'm going to stop attacking and get a farm down with Lanturn, but this is absolutely perfect. We're getting up to the back-to-back surfs. Let's see how much damage this first surf does. Well, let's get them down to surf range. Yeah, so it does more than half, so I know that the second surf will definitely take out, and that ends up being absolutely perfect. So Skarmory, a nice little pick there. We used to see Skarmory so often. It used to be Mandibuzz and Skarmory that were the main flyers in the league. Of course, that's kind of died off quite recently with all of the Noctowls and everything. Definitely the wing attack buff was like the most substantial change to Great League, and of course Surf and Lanturn. So Altaria, we don't really want this in either of our back Pokemon here. And this is a winning match for Altaria versus Lanturn. So Altaria is a bit of a core breaker here. I'm happy to invest shields. The opponent shields up the first one here, wisely enough, because I know from experience in that matchup, Lanturn can flip it if they land the first Thunderbolt. So good shield by the opponent. We're just going to farm up here as much as possible and fire off another Thunderbolt. We'll see what the opponent really wants to do here. They do let the second one go. And at this point, I might even consider double shielding this. Or do I go for a farm down? Yeah, I do shield it. We're going to fire off what is probably a surf here. They're in surf range at this point. So this is getting pretty close. If the opponent shields here, they can take switch. And we're just going to aggro swap straight into Sableye at this point. The opponent stores a Sky Attack and swaps into Registeel. So we're going ahead and fire off a foul play on this thing. And at this point, like, I'm just going to get off as much as possible on this thing, and, you know, hopefully come in for a nice farm down with Trevenant. The opponent will reach a Zap Cannon, which will blast our little ghost out of here, unfortunately. But we can get a nice little farm down with Trevenant, which should be perfect here. They go for the Zap Cannon, absolutely one-shots the Sableye, and yeah, at this point we're going to come in with Trevor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I know the opponent's banged to move, so I go straight for the Seed Bomb, knowing that Altaria is going to come in and try and snipe with the Sky Attack. We do get this out of here, and this was absolutely crucial in this matchup. In comes Medicham, and at this point, I don't have to go for a catch or anything. You know, you would be tempted, oh, catch the Ice Punch. Absolutely no need. Guys, thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed. That's a nice little 4-1 set. Like I said, we won, out of, let's see, 13 matches, we won 12 out of 13. This is an amazing team, and we climbed up a little bit to 22.91, so hopefully we can make that push. And thank you everybody for watching. Drop a like, drop a sub, and I'll catch you all next time.